some may like football, some may like volleyball, and etc. Now, so we are going to study in detail about football. Now, exactly what are the rules, what are the regulations, what are the terms, conditions, how it is formed, how it is exist, and the other thing is, main thing is that what is the history behind this game. So this entire we are going to study in this video. Now students, on the screen you can see history of football. Now here are some images. Now that images you can see it is in the black and white form. Now that why it is in the black and white form? Because it is in the olden times, it is in the ancient times. As the name history, history means the things which have already happened, and so it is termed as history. So let's start. Football or soccer as the game is called in some parts of the world. Football in its current forms rules in England in the middle of its 19th century, but alternative version of it exists much earlier and are the part of football history. The game dates back to the Mesoamerican culture, played with a rock some 3000 years ago, followed with Wushu, where a ball was used for kicking in China. Various forms of games were played in various countries, but present form of the game developed in England in 12th century. In these centuries, the game that resembled football were played in meadows and roads. The game also involved punches with the fist. This old version of football was also rougher and violent than the current or than the modern way of football. The game involved plenty of people and took large place in towns. In 16th century, Florence, where it was called Calcio, the rampage on these games causes damage to the towns and even death. This was the reason why the game was banned for so many years. This took time for features of today. For a long time it was not distinguished between football and rugby. Means it was like both the games were same that time. As people were not knowing any rules, regulation, so they were thinking that okay, this is also same and that game is also same. So many various concerning the size of the ball and length of the games. Proper rules of the game were decided in meeting at Cambridge in 1848. The first football association was formed in 1863. In this, weight and size of the ball was decided. The Scottish decided to pass the ball through players. Means, different countries they decided different rules. So all these came together and one association was being formed, and that association decided the exact rules and the regulations. The first was formed by former school students. Later it was Sheffield in 1855. The old professional type was Old English Club, was formed in 1862 and still existing. In bigger cities, football teams were established and the new railroads could bring them together. Means the people could travel from one place to another, so the game also it got expanded. Means the players also can travel from one place to another and pass the game to other countries or other places, we can see. When some clubs were willing to take best players in the team, this was the start of the professional football. Slowly tickets for the games were sold. The Federation of International 8-Day Football Association was founded in 1904 and the Foundation Act was signed by representatives from France, Belgium, Guinea, Spain, Netherlands and Switzerland. Later on, football became a part of Olympics and also the FIFA World Cup had its origin. So students, this was the history of the football. In this we have seen that, or we have heard, or we have discussed that how exactly the football got the existence in today's game. Like in the FIFA World Cup, we can say. So now many places, and it is very much a world popular game as we know, right? So now next image you can see football, also called association football or soccer, is a game involving two teams of 11 players who try to maneuver the ball into other teams' goal without using their hands or arms. The team that scores more goals win. Football is the world's most popular ball game in number of participants and spectators. Association football were commonly known as football or soccer, a sport played between two sides of 11 players with a spherical ball. Football is the world's most popular sport. Football is the world's most popular ball game in number of participants and spectators. The sports can be played almost anywhere. It can be played on the fields, pitches, streets, schools, playgrounds, parks or beaches. Football is one of the oldest sport in the world, and that it is also one of the most recognized game. Now, so we also know that football is very well recognized game in nowadays, right? So many of you play also football, many of you like to watch football. So I hope you have understood that what is exactly the history and how it came in existence and what is the rules, regulation, everything, right? So in the PDF which you will be getting, so you have to write the notes it in your GK notebook. Thank you students.